Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a big one: how to stop your company from being incredibly busy and start being incredibly valuable. We're going to turn that project chaos into some real strategic clarity. So let's just jump right in with this question. Sound familiar? Yeah, if that one hits a little too close to home, you are definitely not alone. It's that classic corporate pain of celebrating the perfect delivery of completely the wrong thing. Which, leads us right into this, the glorious mess that so many organizations are in. It's like a corporate circus, right? Where picking the next big project has less to do with strategy and more to do with who can shout the loudest in the meeting. And let's put a number on it: 30%. That is the typical amount of pure waste hiding in most project portfolios. We're talking money, time, and talent just poured into low-value pet projects and, let's be honest, just sheer inefficiency. And this right here, this nails it. That giant list of 200 initiatives you're tracking, that's not a portfolio. It's just a very, very expensive spreadsheet. It doesn't signal control. It's actually a symptom that your strategy is a total mess, which is why you end up in those status meetings where somehow nothing ever gets canceled. So really, you've got two ways this can go. On the left, you've got the chaos of the hippo model. That's the highest paid person's opinion, where politics and personalities drive everything. But on the right, that's the goal: a sane, data-led approach where strategic value is the only thing that matters. Okay, so how do we actually escape the chaos? Well, the answer isn't a better spreadsheet. It's about changing how we think. And it's all built around a little something called benefits management. I want you to think of benefits management as the GPS for your project. It's the thing that makes sure you're not just moving, but you're actually heading in the right direction. So you end up delivering real value, and not at some weird, questionable diner on the side of the road. And here's how it actually works. You start with identification, which is kind of like group therapy for your stakeholders, to find out what really matters. Then you define those benefits, basically creating a dating profile for them so you know how to measure success. From there, it's just disciplined planning, tracking, and then the big moment: realization, where you prove the value was actually delivered. And all of this, it's all building up to one really, really crucial point. We have to understand the fundamental conflict at the heart of most project failures, and that is the battle between outputs and outcomes. Now, this slide is absolutely key. See, project managers, they are laser focused on outputs, the what and the when. Their job is to get the thing built, on time, on budget. And that's great, but the board, the sponsors, they're supposed to own the outcomes, the strategic why, the actual change and value the project is meant to create. And that's exactly why who reports to whom is so important. Your benefits manager needs to report up to the board, not sideways to the project manager. Because if they don't, that whole strategic why just gets reduced to another box-taking exercise, completely lost in the daily grind of just getting stuff done. So this all points to a pretty major shift in mindset that has to happen. It's about completely evolving your approach to how you manage all your projects. See, most companies are stuck over here on the left, just managing bets. It feels very analytical, but you're really just shuffling deck chairs in a fog of ambiguity. Where you want to be is on the right, executing intent. And that requires clear goals, making tough choices, and leaders who are actually held accountable. And here it is, the big reveal. If your portfolio is a disaster, don't blame the portfolio manager. Look upstream. Because when your corporate strategy is vague and mushy, your portfolio just becomes a magnet for chaos, not a driver of value. Everything seems important, so nothing gets the focus it truly needs. So here's your new rule. Before anyone lifts a finger on a new project, you have to ask this first critical question. If you can't clearly connect a project to a strategic goal, it's not a priority. It's a distraction, period. Okay, question number 2, and you have to get specific here. What measurable benefit will this deliver? No more vague promises about synergy or future value. Benefits are the language of truth. They cut right through the fluff and the corporate jargon. And finally, this one. This might be the most powerful question of all. It's the ultimate reality check. It forces you to really think about the cost of doing nothing. Is this a genuine must-have, or is it just a nice-to-have? Because if you go through those 3 questions and the absolute best answer anyone can come up with is, well, it just feels important, then stop. Stop right there. Congratulations, you haven't approved a project, you've just adopted a very expensive new hobby. All right, let's bring this all home with the biggest takeaway of all. We're talking about developing a strategic superpower, and it's probably not what you think. Let me be crystal clear about this. Killing a bad project early is not failure. It is the exact opposite. It's a sign that your organization is healthy, mature, and actually has its act together. Trust me, it is way less painful than trying to explain 6 months from now why your perfectly delivered project created absolutely zero value. So that's the question I want you to take back to your team. Ask it in your next big meeting. Because the journey from being busy to being valuable doesn't start with doing more work. It starts with having the clarity, the data, and frankly, the courage to say no.